She said kinda love affair.
Is love in the air, or is your relationship on the verge of destruction? Let's talk about it. Sit back,
Relax.
and enjoy your favorite cocktail as we discuss relationships, dating,
Sex.
and love. Love on the rocks, that is.
Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks. Love on the rocks.
And what's up, everyone, and welcome to Love on the Rocks. It is Roger the Wild Child along with Megan Bennett. Megs. You picked this topic this week.
I did. I picked this week and next week, actually. I've already got that picked out too. So I'm
All right,
really excited
Okay,
about them.
awesome. And so, so we'll talk about those topics at the topic at the end of the show. Bear with me, guys. I'm just doing a little promoting right now. But we're talking about long-distance relationships. And, I'm sure at one point we've all
Been in them.
we've all been in a long-distance relationship. And whether it's short-term, long-term. But I mean, we've, like I said, we all have. So, Megan, what is your longest long distance relationship that you've had?
— 24 years.
Wow, 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so when he would live here, we were never like neighbors. We lived in the same county over, so it's not really long distance.
Mhm.
Then he moved to Florida, and it was long distance there. And then he moved back to Georgia, and it again local.
Mhm.
But when I say long distance relationship, for me, it's more than just the miles apart for someone.
Right.
I think you could be living under the same roof and have a legit long distance relationship. Not
Right.
that it's healthy, but I think they do occur. You can also, like us, live in the same county, whatever, and it be a long distance relationship because of other playing factors in the relationship, which
Right.
makes it feel like a completely 150% long distance relationship.
Mhm.
So I'd say 24 years.
Okay. All right. Let's bring on one of our relationship influencers. Let's bring on Crystal.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you ready for this topic, Crystal?
I am ready for this topic. I did a little bit of research.
Of course you
Of
did.
course you did. Yes.
See, I was going to, and then I was like, nope, I know my girl Crystal has it. I'm not going to worry about it.
I know she's already nerding out about this topic.
Yep.
Right.
This topic in specific, I know you're nerding out about.
I am. And I did have to spend a little bit of time today kind of discrediting some of the stuff that I was finding.
Yeah.
So, you can't always believe everything you read.
You can't.
Mhm.
So
You can't. Even if it's on Google.
And when I said do my research, I mean I do my research.
Yes.
A lot of the stuff that kept coming up, especially on some infographics, the research that it came from was actually not a very reliable source.
Okay.
When something seems too good to be true, it probably is.
It probably is.
Yeah.
And it was I just found it way too easy. So ended up finding out that particular source was not reliable because it was the more I reached, or the more I researched, it was from a sex toy company.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't know if their research was super accurate.
Surprise.
Right.
The scary thing was that I got there through an article in the New York Times.
Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh.
So you can't even believe everything you read in the New York Times. 'Cause
What are the
Fake
chances?
news. Fake news.
Yeah, some fake news. But I do have some good
Definitely.
stuff from reliable sources, like actual working doctors and psychologists, and
Oh, okay.
like
I'm excited to hear
studies that
those.
were done well.
Right.
It
Now,
should
have
be.
you been in a long distance relationship?
I have actually. I've been in
What's
a
your
couple.
longest?
Longest stretch of time, like on and off.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
both, off and
Um,
on, and then just a solid stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cover
Probably
those.
on and off, maybe like 2 years. Solid stretch, I think maybe a couple of months, which actually research says at about 4.5 months is when long distance relationships usually will have their first disagreement, argument, riff, whatever it is.
At 4 to 6 months, huh?
Average 4.5 months is when it would start.
Oh, 4.5.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
That's
See,
very interesting.
the only long distance relationship that I can recall is like when I was in college and I was dating this girl and she was in a different school than I was and
Right.
so forth. And I think I stayed away from long distance relationships because I've had such a bad experience. I'm the type of person that wants that gratification. I want that person there.
Right.
I don't want to do the phone call or video
Yeah.
call now and talk to them. I want them next to me. I want them laying next to me. I want them holding me. I want to go out and do things with them. Go out and about.
But Roger,
what
so how
couples-
far does somebody have to live for you to consider it a long distance relationship?
Yo, that's a good question.
How far?
Mhm.
I mean, if you live like an hour from that person, I don't consider that long distance relationship. But if you're in a different state, yeah.
What if you live near the border of a state? Then what?
Okay, that's different. But like you're like Twin Cities or something like that, where you got. But I mean, yeah, literally, if it's like if you got to go 2 to 3 hours to see somebody, I still think that's considered long distance relationship.
So the average distance that most of the studies, I'd say a majority, if not all the studies that I was looking at,
I feel like it's going to be a big number.
Not really. 125 miles.
So I was right.
Okay,
2 to 3
that's-
hours.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
depends on where you live. You can't do it by
Right.
hours.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I live just outside Chicago. It could take me an hour to go 5 minutes.
Exactly. Same.
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I'm in Houston too. So yeah.
An hour to go 5 miles.
Hell,
Sorry, nobody caught
Gwinnett.
that.
Gwinnett County. It'll take me literally 45 minutes to go 2 red lights.
And Roger, I found it interesting. You said that the only long distance relationship you've been in was in college.
Yes.
A majority of long distance relationships happen in the college years, mostly due to going to other schools and things like that. And people graduating and moving away.
Mhm.
But there are approximately 14 million couples in the United States that consider themselves long distance currently.
Really?
Yes.
We got military people that that are in the military and then are overseas and they don't see their spouse or significant other for like a year, because
Or longer than that.
jobs,
yeah.
including the military, were the number one reason for long distance relationships,
Yes.
Yeah.
other than
Yeah.
college.
And
Yeah.
those long distance relationships, do you have stats on how many long distance relationships end up becoming cheating relationships?
Or marriages.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I tried not to go down the cheating
That-
road too much because I feel like that's a whole different topic. But trust and infidelity were number one reasons for long distance relationships not working out. So there is that. However, long distance relationships are becoming more common nowadays due to things like social media, being able to just FaceTime, stuff like that. So
Working
they're seeing
from
a
home.
rise in the number. And there's all new situations now. So, and Well, I'm not going to tell you about what the stats from the sex toy company said because
No, I'm actually curious to know what the fake news is.
I think they were trying to sell some products.
Probably.
So they had some long distance friendly products that they were trying to sell.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Nope. Those things exist. But let me see. So let's see. Oh yeah, on average, long distance couples were separated by a distance of 125 miles. So that's what a lot of the studies based their like minimum off of was the average.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. So couples in long distance relationships often spend a significant portion of their income on travel and transportation. More often they would drive. Second way was plane. Third way was like train.
Never. It would be a hey, what's up on a Zoom call type relationship before I got on a train.
The average number of times couples visited each other like per month was 1.5. But studies also show that long distance couples actually have better communication with each other, which leads to healthier relationships or deeper connections because that's your quality time. You're forced to actually have those deep conversations and talk to each other in order to spend time with each other.
It's just so hard. Sometimes you have to have a filter. You have to, Megan. You have to have a filter.
Yes, Megan.
Do you though?
I mean,
sometimes it's fun when you don't.
Yes.
He knows. He knows. He's watching. He knows.
So, and actually the average frequency of in-person visits of long-distance couples in 2022 and 2023 has increased, with couples managing to meet in person every 2 to 3 months on average. So, you know, and seeing each other. Yeah.
That's bonkers.
You know what? If you're only gonna see each other for just, you know, every couple months, you might as well just be friends at that point.
Right.
I don't know though. Like I kind of see the benefits of it. Like for me, I'm one of those people like I need a lot of
me time.
Freedom and me time. Like I don't want to have to answer to somebody else like every second of the day.
Right.
So, you know, and I've got stuff I got to do. That was actually one of the downfalls in one of my long distance relationships was that he expected me to give him every spare second that I had. And it was like, well, you know what, like I have to do stuff too. Like I have to take care of me and my family and I want to go hang out with my friends. And it's not like I'm going to give you every spare second I have, like just because I'm off. I do have other things.
Or God forbid you coach baseball or you have a kid that plays football and you're on the board and you're the only one to take them to practices and games and their little shindigs and their cheer send-offs like tonight. Yeah.
So that was a big problem in one of my long distance relationships is like I don't know, we're a long distance, but somehow I needed more space.
Right.
Because they wanted every spare second. But but yeah, like I don't know, long distance kind of works for me because
it does.
Time.
Yeah. I can totally see that benefit. I'm the same way.
Well, Jesse Davenport on Facebook says, my ex and I got along so much better when we didn't live together.
Yes.
Jesse, why are you not on here?
Jesse, don't you need to be here?
Yeah, exactly. Where are you, Jesse?
Like, you should probably sign on now.
Yeah, I think so. So instead of just chatting us through Facebook.
Don't be a Drew, Jesse.
Yeah, don't be a Drew. Drew decided to bail on us today.
He's watching Astros or whatever.
Well, that game's over. Well,
Phillies
he claims
versus
there's technical difficulties. So, all right, Jesse, get logged in. So, I have to say, I mean, I'm not saying I would be opposed to a long distance relationship. I just, if it's the right person and I know the chemistry is there or whatever, and we have and we have a plan to eventually be together down the road. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and have a relationship for 5 years being long distance. I mean, if we have a plan to to grow and make things work and figure out about how we eventually can become one, then
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that the right thing? Like, fucking flabbergasted that another male thinks that way. I love it.
So
I'm
it's
just
funny
proving a
that you could
point.
say you don't always want to be long distance.
right.
The average number of months before couples either move to the same city and this is in successful relationships that started out long distance. So the average number of months is 14. So just a little bit over a year before long distance couples typically decide not to be long distance anymore. That's not to say that they don't go back to being long distance because of jobs or whatever the case may be. But another part of that same study did say that depending on how your relationship starts will determine whether the distance is beneficial or not beneficial to your relationship. So like if you start by being long distance and then move together, your relationship actually has a better chance of lasting. As opposed to if you start together and then somebody has to move away.
Absolutely. I can see that.
Exactly. Me too.
That makes sense.
So, and there's actually some science behind that too.
Is there?
Is there?
There is. So far, there's been no studies on how long a couple can stay long distance and still maintain a stable relationship. But one of the doctors that I was looking at the study that they did believes that the stage of life is an important factor and how long or how they started long distance or not. But she also goes on to say, when our brains are repeatedly exposed to the same people and situations, they eventually become habituated. So we get used to these things as part of our daily life. But when we encounter new stimuli, we respond with heightened senses, which is why new couples seem inseparable in long distance relationship. Partners don't become as quickly habituated to each other. So the entire relationship can feel like a suspended honeymoon phase.
Right.
Now, whether that's a good or bad thing depends on each couple. But I won't bore you with more of that story.
I feel like that nails it on the head.
I agree.
It does.
I really do.
And I think that's also why I don't mind long distance relationships, because it's still like it stays fresher. Like,
It
so
does
then
stay
you build
fresher.
you build the excitement to see the other person, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see you. You know, and
you don't
and
settle
I
into
get that
routines.
side of it, huh?
Yeah, because once it becomes the norm, it's like, fuck, I really cannot
Stand you.
Like, I just don't want to see you right now. Can I have a 5-minute break? You know? I mean, it is for me.
It's
like, no, you got to have that break. And I feel like you get that break if it's long distance relationship. It makes it a lot easier. And that freshness is still there, that butterfly feeling.
Right.
You know, because once those mofos move in, it's out the door. Butterflies done turned into gnats.
Oh my gosh, Megan.
Well, that communication bit too, I feel like goes a long way.
It does. It does.
Say that again for the ones in the back.
That communication bit goes a long way.
Absolutely. Like endless lengths.
And I think too, and this is just me based off of what I'm reading, like, so couples that are in closer proximity to each other, like it sounds like, you know, because they get habituated and all that other stuff, they just kind of take each other for granted a lot more because the other person's always around. And you stop realizing all the little things that they do for you and all that good stuff. So another reason why the honeymoon phase lasts longer in the long distance relationships.
I feel like God's just talking to me right now.
Nope, it's just me.
No,
It's just you. It's just you.
So, Crystal, you would continue doing long distance relationships with somebody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you prefer long distance over regular relationships?
I don't think I prefer one over the other necessarily. I
think it depends on the person with Crystal.
Yeah, it depends on the person and how they communicate.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they're able to handle a long distance relationship, because just because I'm capable of it doesn't mean that they are.
What about you, Megan?
And it's too.
So. At this point in my life, I feel like relationships hate me, period.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah.
Do Do you
I'm
think
trying
it's
to
just the
think who.
quality of the choice of people that you're surrounded by, or do you think you try too hard to be in a relationship? You just don't
Oh
let it come
no,
naturally?
no, I don't definitely try to be in it. By any means do I try, but I feel like I've gone through so much bullshit with
Mhm.
relationships between Rodney, Matt, and Josh. I don't have the like. I would rather like all but one of them, Rodney. I feel like I would have a better outcome talking to a brick wall, like watching paint dry.
Hmm.
They are dumber than bags of dildos for one, and they're just
Like the sex toy company research then.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they're the ones that like put the directions on shampoo bottles. It is because of them. They're just not bright creatures, and yeah, I think I'm just like anti-relationship at this point.
So how do you surround yourself to that type of person? Can you break away and find a different type of person
Oh
that
yeah, I
maybe
break away and he comes back after so long. He'll come back and then think that everything's hunky dory and everything's good. And of course, I go back too because that's my comfort zone. It's been my comfort zone for over 2 decades. Like,
Mhm.
and then we get right back to square one
So
every single time.
when do you realize that that you're beating a dead horse here?
Yeah, I don't know because it's like in my mind, I know that I am, but in my heart, I'm like, well, this really hurts and it's not fair. And
Mhm.
I don't know why I even expressed that because he gives zero fucks. Like he gives none, none, none. So I don't know why. I think I'm definitely not the brightest crayon in the box. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I may have been born and fell off a turnip truck. I don't know, but I just don't.
Megan's analogies crack me up every week. You just don't know what's going to come out of her mouth.
I don't either. But yeah, I just don't think relationships and I'm all for them as long as it doesn't involve me. Same thing for marriage. I'm all for marriage as long as it doesn't involve me. It's a
No.
beautiful thing.
Well,
You-
maybe you should give it a shot. I mean, you got to do your research.
Okay, so
My
Natasha
research
Brown
consists
says,
of running
"Girl, I'm
background
jumping
checks.
on now."
Who said that?
Natasha Brown.
That's my one of my best friends down in Georgia.
Oh, nice.
Just y'all, just remember the name. I'll tell y'all off camera. Just remember that name.
What name?
Natasha.
Okay, gotcha. Hello, Natasha. Thank you for watching the show tonight. So, relationships. You say 2 hours. 2 hours is 120 miles, whatever, is considered long distance.
125 miles.
So yeah.
Right.
So when you're 2 hours away, it's easier to see somebody probably like once a weekend, in every weekend or whatever, when you're 2 hours or 125 miles from that person, as opposed to being maybe 2 days away from that person.
Or
So-
being 25 minutes up the road and never seeing that person, not even once a week.
As I say, you could live close to somebody and not even see them that often. It
Right.
depends on the person. And don't forget, it was driving and flying were about equal. So, like, I mean, it takes a little bit longer now, but, once upon a time, it's so easy just to, like, hop on a plane and get somewhere in an hour and a half that would normally take, like, 7 hours, 8 hours to drive, and depending on if they live near a big city that, has a busy airport, it can also be cheaper than driving too.
So Michael
Yeah.
Warner on Facebook says, find a new person.
I like you, Michael.
Natasha says, stop going back to him. You're worth more than that jerk.
I knew she hates Rodney, and with absolute, she has every right. She
I
has every
have
right.
not been a fan.
Yeah, there's not.
Yeah.
Um,
It just sucks when, like, even it's more the friendship than anything, but it's like long distance. Like right now, he lives 25 minutes up the road, and I might see him once a week, if that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been probably.
Wasn't it you telling us that you're sitting at Dave and Buster's just waiting for your date to show up, and your date never showed up?
Who? Me?
Yeah, you.
you.
Yeah.
You're like you had a date night, Dave and Buster's, and you guys were fighting over. You said that you were going to that you guys were going to meet up and have that date, and then
Yeah.
Yep. And you're sitting there waiting by yourself, lonesome
Yep.
for 2 hours.
Yep, and he never showed up. And
Then
today
it
I
sounds
got
to me
told.
like
Today
y'all
I
might-
got told today that the things he did for me to help my insecurities, Langston, I'm about to smack the shit out of you. Whatever he has done on his own free will to help my insecurities, those are my fault, and I'm the bad person because how dare I?
Mhm.
How dare I? Even I don't get it. He literally told me, well, I did this and I did that and I did this. And why did I do it? I do it because I love you. Why are you going to throw it in my face then, homeboy? I didn't ask you to do any of those things.
Right.
I didn't insinuate. I'm going to seriously beat you. Knock it off.
All right. Michael on Facebook wanted to add, all I'm saying is with all the other outside forces on roadblocks, why add more than that complicates an already tough thing to deal with?
I mean, it also might make it better. I don't know. This is coming from somebody who likes their space.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to be overcrowded. I don't know. Like, I'm busy. I have a kid. I have a demanding job. I have to take care of me, my house, my family, and I don't have like a bajillion spare seconds every day to sit down and spend time with somebody when we got things to do. And sometimes it's nice just to like take that break away from the real world and concentrate on your relationship, like give dedicated time to it. I feel like I had more date nights that way, with my significant other when I was in those long distance relationships. And I feel like he actually planned more, all of them planned more than guys that I dated that were in closer proximity.
Okay, so let's go beyond the whole dating scene. Now, you guys are more serious, things are getting exclusive, and you guys aren't just dating and having a long distance relationship. You guys are maybe 6 months to a year in. When is it time for you guys to say, let's unite and just be one? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. For me, it depends on having that serious conversation. Like, okay, so the average is 14 months, right?
mhm.
If there's no conversation about like how serious you are, well, I'm not gonna just like uproot my life and move to a whole different state without
On
knowing.
assumption. Right.
Yeah. Like just because I think, or, because I think this is a good thing, or I'm feeling like super excited about this relationship still like 14 months in or whatever the case is. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not just going to uproot my whole entire life, but that communication part's really key. And the studies that I was looking at did say that, the long distance relationships that worked out, there was a plan. So like at a certain time, they were like, okay, are we going to get serious and see this through?
Yes.
When do we want to move in together at this point, or when do we want to move closer in proximity? Like it was an actual conversation among the successful couples.
Right. Agreed. And your thoughts on that, Megan?
Completely with Crystal. Completely. Like I wouldn't pick up my life and move to another state for any person.
Unless you know it's real.
I don't even give a shit if it's real. I'm not moving.
You're not moving.
It's like, I'm not
Nope.
moving. Moving sucks.
I'm not moving.
You're
Damn sure
not
not to another state. But I wouldn't do it without any kind of like solid discuss amongst the two
Right.
and have a really solid plan,
conversation.
heart to heart, like a
Come to
genuine.
Jesus.
Yes, a come to Jesus meeting.
Correct.
And even then, I would, honest to God, this ain't even an option for me because I would never damn do it.
I have one more requirement though.
Oh, you do? What's your requirement?
Like, if I'm gonna move to another state, for somebody, that state has to be warmer than the one I live in now.
I know, because I'm from Chicago and I know, and the wind chill
it's so
factor
cold.
sucks.
I mean, it's
cold.
cold here right now, but Georgia's got better weather than Chicago.
It does.
Hey, Crystal, you know that. And we have all the black cows.
I love black cows.
Black.
They're so cute.
I know a couple.
But yeah, the state has to have warmer weather than the one I live in now, and it's cold here right now, so it's not that hard to beat, really.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Meg, I think your guys' coldest days are like warm. I'd be outside.
Like today, it was like 55, and I fucking froze.
47.
40. It was 47.
That's only single hoodie weather.
So Natasha says it's not a friendship. It's a narcissistic asshole who keeps reeling you in because of your insecurities. And leave my nephew alone. My son. Yeah, Natasha told me to leave you alone.
You should.
Yes, Natasha, I think you are right. And I've never said this before, but I think you're right about it. I don't think he's a friend. I think he's narcissistic. And yeah. Spot on. She's seen me go through all the hell. Like all the hell. The tears, the crying, she's heard it. She's seen it.
Mm-hmm. And why do you keep going back?
I think because it was my security blanket for 24 years. Like no matter what, he was always there. And just seemed like the right thing to do. It's what my heart wanted.
Right. And I totally get that. And, and you and I have had some conversations about this off camera. People are in each other's lives for a season, and that's okay. Whether it's, 1 year, 2 years, or 24 years, those times that you shared probably were great
I just
times.
can't imagine God, the past 24, almost 25 years, I can't imagine time in my life that he wasn't there for, that he just wasn't there for.
But sometimes people separate. People move their own, and maybe it's you guys have to come to the reality that you guys can't be one and that you guys can be just friends.
But see, that's hard for me because we have such a connection and such.
But if the connection is traumatic, it's not worth it.
Correct.
Yeah, I definitely have.
What
PTSD
kind of connection
from
is it, though? That's the thing you got to ask yourself is, why, it's your.
I mean, every connection has been great with him. All
Right.
24, we've always, the only time we've ever fought is when we dated.
So maybe you're better.
So
off
there you go. Maybe you guys are better as friends than you are in a relationship.
I don't know if I'm able to be friends with him.
And some people can't, and that's
And
okay
that's okay.
too.
I don't know if
Some
I can be
people
friends with
can't,
him.
but but you may have to go through
I'm completely, yes,
separation.
Natasha is saying they can't be friends. That's how he reels her in. She's trauma bonded. That is so true.
So you need to have a cold break, and maybe down the road you guys can keep that, rebuild that friendship again. Sometimes you got to take 2 steps backwards to go 1 step forward. And maybe that's what you need to do
I'm
right
at
now.
the point right now where I'm okay with not taking any steps forward with him. And I didn't ever think I'd say that.
Mhm.
I never thought I'd say that actually.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've reached that point where I'm okay moving forward without
and
him.
that's and that's how you feel, then that's that's what you need to do. You need to put yourself and your feelings number one at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. It's all about how you feel. And you may need, and things can change 6 months from now. But for right now, you need a timeout and you need closure.
No, I think I
And-
got the closure.
Sometimes
Okay.
that space will do you good because that's why long distance couples tend to work out.
Right.
Because
Bingo.
they have that distance and then it forces communication. And that's usually, I feel, and I don't know the stats on this, so don't quote me, but like, I feel like communication is like, it should be
The number
one
one thing.
in relationships because it's
Mhm.
never going to work if good communication isn't there. Like, can you learn to communicate throughout a relationship? Yes, because everybody has different communication styles, but
Right.
if not there, it's never going to work. And you guys might just communicate differently.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Something.
And I know that it's a reality thing that, it's a hard pill to swallow. And I get that, Megan. And, and it's not saying that he's a bad person or you're a bad person. You guys right now, your chemistries are like, you guys have like opposite polar.
Y'all want to know
magnets
what the
right
truth
now.
is?
Okay.
Y'all want to know what the truth is?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know him so well. The only time he ever does this is when somebody has come back from the past and he's entertaining her.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's the only.
don't be somebody's sloppy seconds.
Mm.
Oh no, they're getting my sloppy seconds.
Well,
From the
apparently
get-go.
not
Somebody's
because
first choice. I don't want to be their
yeah,
choice.
yeah. If you're not, if he's not your first choice,
If you're not his first choice.
yeah, vice versa.
Right. But
Yeah.
that's what it all boils down to. Like, we have great communication skills. We can talk all day long, but the minute he flips that switch and has entertainment of any sort, that's not as much as me because he tells me all the time how much I am. And he can't handle that much. So when somebody else rolls around, he entertains them. We have problems. He reaches for every single thing possible. Like he did earlier with the whole, well, I did this to help your insecurities, but it's your fault now.
The blame game. You can't play the blame game on the other person. You can't sit there and point the finger and say, you did this, you did this. You need to take ownership yourself because
Right.
it takes two people to ruin
Absolutely.
for a relationship to work or not work.
Right.
And, it's not one person does it all and the other person does not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You need to be able to say, you know what? I understand these are the issues that I have with you, but I understand what I've done. So
Right.
I'm willing to work on this if you can work on that. If two people can't work on what the other person's, issues are, it's not going to work out. And it can't
No.
be one-sided.
Right.
So, so for example, you got to, you and him, he's got to own up of what he screwed up on, or not necessarily screwed up, but well, what the issues that he's having with Megan, and he's got to say, okay, I will work on this for you, Megan. If you can work on this for me.
And then he'll throw it in my face 5 days later and be like, you fucking bitch, you made me do this and this and this, and you're all for what? To help your insecurities? Nobody should have to do that.
Meg, you said something that's really like, I can't let it go because I can't stand when I hear people say this.
Mhm.
What?
And like, I responded to it, but I don't think like you heard it.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever feel like you are too much for somebody, you
Mhm.
just tell them to go find less.
Yeah.
Go find less. I'm
He
too much,
all the
go
time
find
tells me that. He all the times tells me, you're just too much. You're too
Yeah.
much.
Go find less.
You're too hard to deal with. Nobody can deal with you.
Right there and then, that's not what he needs. And that's not what you need.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
about coming to reality of things and understanding that, it's not going to work. So
Yeah.
quit trying to make something work. If it hasn't worked out
Yeah.
over 24 years.
I
It's
feel
not
like the
going
longer
to
you
now.
try, the worse it gets. Like
Yes.
you can only
Yeah.
he can only prove so many times it's not going to work. Like you said, it's like beating a dead horse.
Right.
How much heartache are you willing to put yourself through? How much are you willing to suffer? Like
Dude,
at
I'm
a
numb.
point,
I'm so
Yeah.
numb from it.
you have to choose you too. It's
Right.
not just him that has to choose you first. You have to put yourself first too.
So Natasha
Natasha's-
says the next guy you want to date has to pass an interview with Crystal and I.
Absolutely.
If only I were this good at interviewing like my own dates.
Right.
Absolutely. Because I tell you what, I know how to pick them.
So we were talking about
Long distance
relationships, and now we're talking about Megan's
Because
relationship problems.
mine was practically a long distance relationship, even though there's only 25 minutes between our houses.
But if you never see each other,
Right.
or you're only seeing each other as much as the average long distance couple,
Right. It's like a long distance relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and to, you know what I think, like, one of the bridges here between these two subjects. So, like, Meg, you were talking about before, I think it was a different episode, like, or Roger, you brought it up to how she was sitting at Dave and Buster's, like, waiting for him to show up. So, like, one reason why long distance couples are successful, and, like, one reason why I liked long distance better for the most part was, like, those guys plan more dates. Like,
that's
they
true.
Very intentional about their time because you only have so much.
That's true.
Yeah. And like, I'll be honest, like, listen, I make a bajillion questions a day, or a bajillion decisions. Sorry, not questions. I answer a million questions. I make a bajillion decisions a day. At the end of the day, I'm tired. Don't ask me where I want to. Don't ask me where I want to go. Tell me when to be ready, and I'll be ready, and you take it from there. Like,
right.
Okay,
that's
so Krista,
exactly
you need to be on an airplane Friday morning, and you too, Megan.
Okay. Look, I am freaking out.
Because we're all going to Hollywood on Friday.
I don't know if y'all have seen my Facebook post, but these people got me having some severe anxiety to where I'm going to go and like camp out the night before.
That's not necessary.
Like,
no. Yeah, I said, she goes, how early do you need to be at the airport? It said 12 hours. That way you're guaranteed not to miss your flight.
Because I'm like, I got people telling me to go check in the international terminal and then go not by train because I thought that's the only like way to get there. But
it is.
Well, I don't know. Somebody told me go to international. Something about walking over to. I don't fucking know. Read my Facebook post because it's got me being
still gotta jump on that little tram no matter what.
It's got me being bamboozled. I don't know. I'm so anxious. Like I wrote one of my best friends.
When it comes to your airport, the gate that the Southwest flight from Chicago always pulls up to in the Atlanta airport has a Chick-fil-A right outside.
Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Nice. Love Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
Except on Sundays.
Right.
Because they're not open.
I gotta grab my Chick-fil-A. I'm flying in Atlanta. It's right there as soon as you get off the plane. It's like,
yes, it is. I forgot about that. I'm just worried about checking in and having enough time if I get there at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. Do you know how cheerful I'm gonna be? And I just hope I can find my way.
I think so. The last time I was at the airport and I got there like way too early, Meg, I had to text you. I got an alert on my phone that somebody put an air tag on me.
That's right.
What?
Yes.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I'm like, I'm gonna go chuck that sucker into the ocean. Find me now.
Yeah, she had an air tag stuck to her.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. So, Crystal, we're going to the ocean.
I'm so excited.
We're going to the coast.
We're going to the West Coast.
Maybe when we get there, I'll find myself a long distance boyfriend to.
There you go.
Same. Me too. Me too.
Nice, like Kendall looking surfer boy. I don't know.
Yeah. Give me a surfer.
Nah.
Just the looks. Don't let him open his mouth.
I'm like, well, the water in my hair don't really,
Give me somebody like, who's that dude that saw the Saw movies? I didn't know that was a real human being.
Oh my God.
I gotta see this now.
Go to the chat and look at what Roger sent.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent it in the group chat who's going to be one of the special guests. Eric Roberts is going to be there. Remember Eric from our episode?
I
know
do.
before Crystal's time, but yeah, actor Eric Roberts is going to be there. I'm excited. We're going to
It's
be able to hang out
Julia
with him.
Roberts' brother.
Yeah, Julia's brother. But yeah, Eric's awesome. Him and his wife Eliza is going to be at the Halloween Hotness.
She is a
in
doll baby.
Madame Tussauds. So
She
that'll be
is a
good.
doll.
We're going to have so much fun. We're going to have to do some Facebook Lives this weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, Roger the Wild Child Show, Love on the Rocks program, live from Hollywood.
Yes.
We'll be you guys want to watch the Facebook pages? Our Facebook pages will be all popping on and doing different Facebook lives, so you can see exactly what.
How do
what
I
we're
do
doing.
research for that?
I don't know.
On a whim. And next week we are going to be talking about codependency in a relationship. So I'm excited about that.
I know.
And I would love it for people to call in or comment. It gives you a week, y'all. A week to think about questions or comments or anything, and let us read them
You
on
can shoot
air
us all
or talk to you on
comments,
air.
or message us or DM us on Facebook Messenger or whatever.
Yeah, any of us.
Any of us. Yeah.
We will get it squared away on the air.
If you want to be, if you want to be a guest and talk about your codependent relationships, feel free to just message us, let us know, and we'll get you lined up. And so
For sure. For sure.
So overall, you guys can blow up the chat here. I just want to know, what do you guys think about the whole Megan Rodney relationship? Do you think that it's time for her to move on? Or do you think that...
Yes. Yes.
He knows the answer already.
Do what?
Yeah.
He knows the answer already.
Yeah. I know the answer already.
He just needs like 500 people to jump on and tell her right now.
Right. Needs that confirmation.
No, I got confirmation.
And like I said, I'm not saying that Rodney's a bad person. It's just your guys' chemistry together is not working.
And like, well, Jesse was saying earlier, we were still on long distance, that him and his ex got along better when they didn't live together. Maybe you guys are together too much.
Well, my kid's mom and I are the same exact way. As in, when we were married, it didn't work. But when we were after our divorce, obviously, we still are paying each other's ass, but we get along so much better now than we did when we were in a relationship. So, I
because you're
can't.
not around each other 24/7, like annoying each other with like your bad habits and
right,
feeling like each other's taken for granted. I could see that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but it is what it is. End of the day, though, Megan, that it's not something to move forward with.
Yeah.
You've tried it. It's not like, we tried it for 6 months. It's not working. This is 24 fucking years.
Yeah.
Okay. And that, like I said, I'm not saying that you're a bad person. I'm not saying Rodney's a bad person. You guys are just not compatible together.
Right.
In that aspect.
Right.
Now, take a break. The friendship can rekindle and get stronger again on the friendship side. But right now, you guys need some cooling off time right now, I think.
Yeah. I agree.
I wouldn't cut the friendship out completely. I would just take the break.
Right.
And then see what happens. Only time could tell.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't have any hopes or high expectations.
No.
And it's usually when you like walk away from something and wash your hands of it that it seems to come back in.
Right. Right.
Weird how that always works.
This isn't it?
Like
that does always happen.
So, Well, guys, next week we have another great episode, Codependency. Make sure you get your comments to us. Let us know. You have stories you want to share, you want us to go on the air with. Please let us know. That myself, Megan, Crystal. Also, you can reach out to Ike, Jesse, Lydia, and Drew. So, but yeah. But another great episode. A lot of fun tonight, guys. We really appreciate you guys checking in. Make sure you guys like and share us and follow us on all your social medias and spread the word of the show, guys.
And tune in next week. And all weekend on Facebook Lives.
And watch us this weekend as we do our Facebook Lives over the weekend. So
It's going to be so fun.
we can't wait. Hollywood! You're going to Hollywood! Guys, you have yourself a great night. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye, guys.